Imagine this. It's 1926, and a British court has to decide who owns the copyright to a book allegedly dictated by a spirit who's been dead for 1,900 years. I am not making this up. This is a real case, so buckle up for possibly the weirdest copyright case in legal history. Our protagonist is Geraldine Cummins, journalist by day, spiritual medium by also day, actually. She had this party trick where she'd cover her eyes with one hand, grab a pencil with the other, and just write, like really fast. We're talking 2,000 words in 90 minutes without stopping. Now, Geraldine's not writing her grocery list here. No, she's allegedly channeling some ancient spirit called Cleophas. Yes, that's a real biblical name, who apparently has lots to say about the apostles. And get this, the spirit writes in perfect 16th century English, because obviously ancient spirits went to Shakespeare camp before manifesting in the 1920s London. This is where Frederick Bond comes in, an architect who believes he has psychic Wi-Fi installed in his brain. Fred gets invited to these seances, right? After each session, Fred takes all the original manuscripts home. He says he's just punctuating them, adding commas where the spirits forgot them. But then Fred starts getting ideas. Fred decides that he's actually co-authoring this masterpiece. How, you ask? Through what he calls silent brain transfer. He claims that while Geraldine was writing, his brain was beaming classical references into her unconscious mind, like Bluetooth, but for dead people's literature. So Fred publishes excerpts without proper permission, and Geraldine is like, "Excuse me, sir, that's my ghost book." And Fred's like, "Our ghost book." And the ghost is presumably like, "Can someone please just publish my book? I've been waiting 1,900 years. So they go to court, and poor Justice Eve has to sit there, presumably wondering how his law degree led him to this moment, listening to arguments about psychic brain transfers and ancient spirits with strong opinions about punctuation. The judge has this moment where he's basically like, "Look, I don't know what's happening in the spirit realm, and frankly, that's not my jurisdiction." He lays out the facts. Geraldine physically wrote every single word. Fred's brain beaming theory is, and I quote, "a delusion." And finally, even if a ghost is involved, ghosts can't own copyrights because they don't have addresses for the royalty checks. But here's my favorite part. The judge actually considers whether Geraldine and the 1,900-year-old ghost should be considered co-authors. But then he's like, "Nah, I literally cannot make legal declarations for dead people. They're outside my jurisdiction." The judge also absolutely roasts Fred. Turns out, Fred had been borrowing money from Geraldine's friend and then claimed it was a gift. He was trying to get them to sign contracts without legal advice. The judge called him out for having grave errors of judgment and being occasionally subject to hallucinations. In the end, Geraldine wins. She gets the copyright, Fred has to return all the original manuscripts, and presumably goes home to rethink his brain Wi-Fi theory. The legal precedent? If you're holding the pen, you own the work, even if you claim a ghost is dictating. Justice Eve basically said, "I deal with earthly matters, of the earth, earthy," which is the British way of saying, "I'm not dealing with your ghost nonsense." So next time someone tries to claim credit for your work, just remember, at least they're not claiming they telepathically beamed ideas into your unconscious mind while a biblical ghost possessed you. The bar for weird excuses was set pretty high in 1926. And that's the story of Cummins v. Bond, the case that showed that even in the 1920s, copyright law had its limits, and those limits stopped firmly before the afterlife. Until next time, thanks for watching, and as always, keep imagining.